Age word problems, number 2. Number 2 is very similar to number 1, except instead of going forward in time, we're going to be going backward in time. An Oriental rug is 52 years old and a Persian rug is 16 years old. How many years ago was the Oriental rug 4 times as old as the Persian rug? So I've set up my table for, I just used abbreviations, the Oriental rug and the Persian rug. And our problem tells us that the Oriental rug now is 52 years old and that the Persian rug now is 16 years old. So last time we were adding years on. This time we're going to be subtracting years because it says how many years ago. So we're going back in time and we are dealing with the Oriental rug being 4 times as old as the Persian rug. So we're going to want to take, first set that up, 52 minus y and 16 minus y. And then when we look at this, the Oriental rug is going to be 4 times as old as the Persian rug. So we're going to need to multiply the Persian rug by 4 to get the age of the Oriental rug. So I'm going to take my value for the Persian rug and multiply it by 4. And then I'm going to set these two equations equal to each other. So I have to distribute my 4 through the parentheses. And remember, this is a negative right here. So I'm going to have 16 times 4 is 64 minus 4y. And I can see that I have some negatives here. I'm not sure, Isla, how you have learned to deal with negatives, but in my algebra classes, I suggest strongly to the kids that they change the subtraction to a plus, and then whatever the number or the variable is after it, change it to its opposite. So I'm going to do that right now for the other students. So I can see that I have negative 4y over here and y over here, so I probably want to get my y's on this side, which means I'm probably going to want to subtract 64 right here and take this down to 0. And when I subtract that, I'm going to get 12, I believe, negative 12 plus a negative y equals negative 4y. So now I have y's on one side, but I have y's and numbers on the other side. So what I can do is I can add a y on this side to get these to 0 because they're opposite, and add a y over here, and then I'm going to get negative 3y equals negative 12. Now, one of the ways to not have negatives in your, when you have it on both sides, is to multiply both sides by negative 1, because a negative times a negative is a positive, And again, if I do something on one side and I do it on the other side, the equivalency is maintained. So now I have 12 equals 3y, and I can divide both sides by 3 so that I'm just left with a y on this side. And I'm going to have y equals 4 when I divide 12 by 3. So that means that 4 years ago, this Oriental rug should have been 4 times as old as the Persian rug. So I'm going to take my Oriental rug and I'm going to subtract 4 years. That gets me to 48. And my Persian rug was 16 years old. So if I subtract 4 years, I'm going to get 12. And I can see that my Oriental rug is 4 times older than my Persian rug. So my math and my figuring was correct.